There is a huge difference between building an audience of casual fans, people that like your work, and actual true potential customers, people that are excited to open up their wallets and support your creative practice. So today, in this video, I'm going to walk you through the 3 steps that you're going to have to follow to actually build that audience of real potential customers and not just casual fans. And thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. If you've been posting consistently on social media and you are getting likes and engagement and traction, but all of that attention is not actually translating into sales, you're probably posting content that is attracting your casual fans and not your true ideal customer. And here's the thing, this is not your fault. Most of the social media growth advice out there is designed to help you get followers, right? Not actually attract customers into your business. And so step number 1 is actually understanding who your ideal customer even is. But I want to be super clear here, because this is where creatives can often get really stuck. When I hop on a call with a coaching client for the first time, and I'm talking to this artist, I'm asking them who their ideal customer is, they can't articulate it. They are completely unable to tell me who their ideal audience for their work is. They might say things like people who appreciate good art, or anyone that likes beautiful things, and like, bestie please. Like, that is not enough of an answer. That's so vague. The more specific your answer is to this question, the easier your marketing is going to be, the better it will actually go, and the easier time you'll actually have to sell your work. So instead of settling for those subpar answers, let's dig a little bit deeper. I want you to ask yourself, what kind of person would be interested in your work? What stage of life are they at? What do they do in their free time? What shows are they watching? What books do they read? What kind of flowers do they like? How do they decorate their house? But even more importantly, I want you to think about what matters to them, what they value, what this person cares about. What problems are they trying to solve? What desires do they have? What needs do they want fulfilled? And I know that even just talking about this has probably made you a fair bit anxious, but this is worth thinking about. And so I want to bring in an activity from my book to hopefully make things a little bit easier. I want you to imagine that your work is in a bookstore, okay? Imagine the section that your work would fit into. This might not be the art section, okay? Think about the section that would best fit the themes and subject matter and aesthetics of your work. If you are a landscape painter that paints around your local area, maybe your work would be really well suited to the travel section, nearby some guides for local hiking trails. If you are a fantasy artist, maybe your work would genuinely fit really well into a section with a bunch of campaign and instructional books about D&D. Imagine as many other books in that section as humanly possible, okay? Like, really just go all out. I want you to take the subject matter and the themes of your work and ask yourself, if someone was really interested in those things, how might that manifest in the books they read and the content they consume? And if you feel like your work could fit into multiple sections of this bookstore, I kind of want to flip the question around a little bit then and instead ask you, what kind of titles might you find around your work if the bookstore employees specifically curated that section just for you, right? They are taking books from all over the store, every possible section, to curate a display that is perfect for you and your work. Let's say that you're a photographer and you shoot weddings and engagements like they're cinematic stills from a rom-com, okay? Think like 10 Things I Hate About You, but the photography version, okay? You are trying to capture these couples as they are and perfectly reflect their dynamic and their own love story in a way that feels cinematic and beautiful and, I don't know, a little bit more unique to them and who they are. We could put your work around a bunch of other photography books, but if we were really curating a bookstore display just for your work with the explicit purpose of attracting your ideal customer, that would be doing you a disservice. So instead of doing that, let's think about the subjects and the themes of your work and try to pull in a bunch of titles from everywhere that would feel unique to you and representative of the work that you are making. So let's consider bringing in books on relationships, like wedding planners and contemporary romance books that are a reflection of the stories that you want to tell in your photography. And do you see how that changes things? How suddenly, when we think about the themes of our work, it can shift the way that we approach our marketing. If you want to check out my book, I will link it in the description. It is 200 pages of stuff just like this, but I want to continue this activity for a second because we have this bookstore display. We have that figured out. So, someone walks into the bookstore. They walk up to your display. They are interested in the themes and the subject matter of your work. They like the stuff in the display. They're interested in the other books here. Who is this person, right? Who are they? I want to go back to the questions that I asked you earlier. What stage of life is this person in? What value does your work potentially solve for them? This could be a problem your work solves or a desire it helps them fulfill. And where does this person spend their time? What are they doing? What are they up to? Where are they in person and online? This information is gold because it tells you where this person is and what kind of content will attract them. If your ideal customer is a busy parent, they might be on Facebook or Nextdoor in parenting groups. If they are interested in architecture, they might be following interior design accounts or reading home and garden magazines or watching DIY or renovation channels on YouTube. And if they're fans of Magic the Gathering, they might be in Discord communities or attending real in-person gaming events or hanging out at their local game store. The more that you know about this person, again, the easier time you will have creating content to attract them. Deeply understanding your potential customer is the most high-value thing you can do for your entire business, in my opinion. If you do not know this, you are really gonna be fighting an uphill battle. So now that we do have a handle on our ideal customer, we are ready for step 2. But before I do that, I do want to very briefly thank Squarespace for sponsoring this video. I need you to know that even if Squarespace wasn't sponsoring the channel, I would still recommend them. This is because I've used Squarespace to host my own website for years now, and I genuinely believe it is an amazing platform for artists looking to get started selling stuff online. They have all the features a budding art entrepreneur would need, from email lists to fluid design tools that enable you to get your website just right. And for those of us that are intimidated by taxes, aka me, their third-party tools like QuickBooks and TaxJar make collecting and remitting sales tax really easy. I sell prints via dropshipping on my website, as well as purely digital products, but you could sell consulting services like portfolio reviews or even courses on Squarespace. They really do let you do it all. If you want to give it a try, use code Kelsey Rodriguez at checkout to get 10% off your first order of a website or domain. Thank you so much again, and let's get back to the video. So now that we understand who our ideal customer actually is, we have to start creating content that will attract them to our work in our business. Because if you've built an audience of casual fans that aren't buying, you have to start attracting folks that actually will. And this is where you're likely going to have to shift your thinking. Most creatives create content about their work that is their process or a studio vlog. And this is not necessarily bad, but content like this will primarily attract other artists, which may or may not be your ideal customer. So instead of just doing that, let's go back to the value that we identified. If you are someone that paints pet portraits, consider creating content about the special bond people have with their pets. Talk about the stories of the clients who are commissioning you. Position your work as a way to honor and celebrate that relationship. If you are a family photographer, instead of just posting stills of your work, talk about how fast kids grow up, how fleeting these moments are, how family photos like this can become heirlooms that are passed down. And then you can so easily talk about your services as a way to capture and preserve these moments. The key here is to package your work in a way that speaks to your ideal customer, to their world, not just the art world. These people don't care about what brushes you use or the specifics of your watercolor technique. That does not matter to them. They probably don't even know what gouache is, much less why they should care about it or what techniques you're using. That doesn't matter to them. What these people care about is the story, right? The value, the result. This also means that you have to make sure that your branding and presentation quality lines up with the price point of your work, because this can make or break literally everything. If you are selling high-ticket original paintings, handmade jewelry, etc., the quality and professionalism of your content should reflect that price point. Your photos should be high quality, right? Your captions should be well written. Your overall brand should feel trustworthy and polished, because if it doesn't, why would someone trust you with hundreds or thousands of dollars? Why would that make sense? This doesn't mean that you can't show personality or be authentic. It just means that you have to be intentional about how you present yourself and your work, that the quality here has to line up with the price point that you are asking. Think about it this way, right? If someone is going to invest hundreds or thousands of dollars into your work, they want to make sure that you are a professional that takes their business seriously. And the third step to attracting an audience of actual prospective customers is to make it absolutely clear that you are selling something. And I know this might feel uncomfy, but hear me out. There is no better way to filter out folks that will be offended that you dare to sell a product or a service for money, oh my god, how dare you, than to just be explicit that you are selling a product or a service for money and that you take your business seriously, because you aren't doing anything wrong and you deserve to charge what you are worth. The people that are going to be mad that you are selling an original painting for $2,000 were never going to buy that painting. And so it doesn't matter if you lose them. That's actually good, right? If you have this huge audience and none of them are buying, it would actually make a lot more sense for you to have a much smaller audience with people that will actually buy your work. Like, that's just strictly more valuable. Does that make sense? I talk to so many artists that are really afraid of selling and doing call to actions and just talking about the products they offer because they're worried about feeling salesy and coming across as like disingenuous to their audience. But here's the thing, right? The people that will complain about this were never going to buy your work. And we want an audience of true potential customers, right? People that are excited, again, to open up their wallets and support your creative practice. And if we're going to lose some casual fans and some people that we're going to be super upset that you're selling anything, that's fine. It's okay to lose them. That's not a bad thing. That actually means that we are moving in the right direction. The people who are your ideal customers, they want to know how they can buy your work. They are excited to open up their wallets and support you. They just have to know how. This means having clear call to actions in your content, making it obvious that it's for sale and easy to purchase. We want to reduce as much friction as possible in the checkout process. And we also have to sell consistently. You cannot just talk about your products once and then never mention them again. And I think you know that, right? You know that if you want to get consistent sales, you have to sell consistently. I think you know that already. But maybe doing these call to actions and selling feels unnatural and weird and inauthentic. And if you want to get better at that, I did make a whole video about it. You can watch it right here, and I hope to see you there. That's it for this video. Maybe buy my book if you want, book a call, whatever. Links are in the description. I will see you later. Bye.